What's going on, everybody? JT here, C. Will, David. This is episode 78 of The Next Block, and today we have a terrific guest. We have Cigtoshi Nakamoto, a representative from the Mad V Apes community on Vechain. This will be a great discussion about NFTs, cross-chain communities, and we'll see where it takes us from there. But how's everyone doing today?
Doing good, doing good.
Good here.
All good. Happy to
Awesome.
be here.
Yeah, welcome to the show. And everyone tuning in, whether live or later, smash that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. Let us know in the comments below what you think of the episode, and maybe let us know who you want to see on the podcast next. But let's dive into it because we're excited to have somebody from the VeChain community on the show. We're heavy on the Algorand community side of things over here, but we want to start cross-pollinating. We want to get out, learn more about other ecosystems. So really happy to have you on the show. Should we just dive right into the NFT community that you're part of?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, I love that you say that because I think cross-chain and cross-pollinating communities is super important. It's a way for people to learn, try new things, and grow communities. I've actually been doing a cross-chain space with two people from Algorand, Gov and Bama for over a year now. And that started back when StockTwit's NFT page was posting daily volume charts, and I believe Bama said in the comment section, like, hey, I want to learn more about VeChain. I responded right away, like, hey, let's jump on a space. And ever since then, we've been doing it weekly. So it's pretty cool, and seeing kind of the Algorand community and VeChain community coming together and seeing people jumping in projects from the other chain and just kind of testing the waters and then becoming bigger parts of the community has been awesome. But yeah, I mean, my journey actually started on Ethereum. And
I feel most people's did.
Yeah,
and then we all went and found better things.
Yeah, I was dabbling over there for a while. And it was just like back then, especially, it was just like grinding for whitelist spots. And it was just like you were just like another number in some of those communities. And I saw something on Twitter. I was always investing in VeChain because I actually liked what they were doing. They had real world use cases already. People, businesses actually using the blockchain already. So I was already investing in VeChain, but it was just sitting in my wallet. And when I saw on Twitter that there were like NFTs and things you can do with your VeChain, I was like, all right, I got to check this out. So that was probably back in September 2021. And I saw this project coming out called Mad V Apes in November and got involved. Just started out as a community member and saw that there was really something different there. The community was really behind the project and the founder and the art. And I just took it upon myself to take on a bigger role. Eventually became a mod and then finally became part of the team. And ever since then, it's just been all about the community. 4 out of our 5 team members were just community members at one point. So really just growing within and promoting within gives us like, a good pulse on what the community actually wants and needs. And so that's kind of how we've really positioned ourselves as a community driven project and just always keeping that community first mindset. And I think it kind of speaks for itself where we're at and the size of the community that we've built and the continued support that they've given us really it's been awesome, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like Mad V Apes and maybe the only other I will say I dabbled, when you guys first started the cross chain space, I was kind of there and tuning in. I feel like that was like kind of, it was kind of, I guess, the bear market, but like, people were still hopeful that it wasn't going to be maybe as long of a bear market that we've seen now. But I remember, getting a VeChain wallet, I got some, VV War or the War Dogs NFTs. I think I have one. I don't know if I grabbed a Mad V Ape though. I know I grabbed. It was when you guys were doing the cross chain space with. Shoot, I'm dropping the name of the project, but it was pretty much like a rhino that could change into something else. I don't know if it's still around. I bought like a few of those at the time.
Psycho Beast.
Yeah.
Yep.
But obviously, NFTs have been, across almost all chains, I would say, have been, kind of pushed down. But you guys still seem to be, pushing through as well as some of the other ones, and honestly, probably one of the top projects on Vechain.
Yeah. We've been voted top project on Vechain. We do like this awards thing at the end of each year, and it's on chain voting. And we've won it 2 years in a row, which is pretty cool. But some see it as a popularity contest, right? But that being said, we have actually built some really cool stuff and cool tools and games and things to do with your NFTs and also just with the community. And I guess the proof is in the pudding. I mean, there's stuff there on chain that you can go check out and play with and mess around with, and we'll kind of get into that stuff in a little bit. But the journey has not been easy, and it hasn't been smooth sailing by any means. I mean, there's been very slow times. There's been times where we're all questioning what the hell we're even doing, right? But I think that's in any project, to be honest with you. And it's just a matter of like just kind of putting your foot down and being like, no, this matters. Like, there are people who believe in us and what we're doing. There's people who are counting on us and like are enjoying this. And this has become part of their daily lives. Like, we got to figure out a way to continue adding value to these assets and things that people are holding.
Well, let's jump into it. So let's talk about the Mad V Apes and like, the NFT, obviously how you guys started it, but like what utilities you can do with those NFTs, and things like that.
Yeah. So we have multiple different collections. There's only been one full mint, and that was our alphas. Everything since then has either been an airdrop or a partial mint, partial airdrop for holding those alphas, right? Everything is above mint price. Everything has held up nicely, but that's because of the things that we've been implementing and giving people a reason to hold these NFTs. But the different collections is nice because it's different entry points into the project. If you're a holder of any of the collections, you can usually get in on some of the giveaways that we do, the games that we play, the poker, and you can start taking advantage of Ape World, which is our biggest development to date. Ape World is an on-chain ecosystem. There's different locations for different tools, resources, and games. There is a pawn shop where you can put your NFTs up as collateral, so you don't have to sell them, but you can still get some liquidity. There is a safe trading platform. There is a fight club where you can fight with your NFTs and different attributes that your apes have give them different attack and defense modifiers. But then on top of that, we have a gym location in Ape World where you can train your apes, give them more XP, which is all going to be in the metadata. So you can train your apes and get them to be really good fighters. And that makes it really more valuable because it's a PvP game and you're playing for MVA token. And then we have a casino where you can just park your apes there and win airdrops of, I believe, Vechain. And all of these locations have an equity component. So they all have 20 shares each. So it cost MVA token to move to different locations. And every time you move or every time you use that location, you pay a fee. And that goes into that location's wallet, right? And at a certain point, whatever's in that wallet gets airdropped to the equity holders. So really have ownership in this platform that we built. And those shares are going to be tradable as well on the market. So a lot of different things you can do. Oh, I forgot one. We have NFT futures as well. So you can do,
that sounds crazy.
Yeah, you can do options trading on NFTs as well, which is really cool component. I'm excited to see how that kind of plays out and what people are going to short or what people are going to long. Like it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but it's a cool little feature. Like I said, like the ape world is it was necessary because we did this token launch. We have MVA token. You can get it by buying it on one of the exchanges or just by staking your apes. And the different collections have different generation rates. And then within those collections, certain traits get generation rate boosts as well. So it makes it nice gamification, trait hunting to get that extra MVA generation on your NFTs. And with Ape World now, we have 3 locations that are up and running: the pawn shop, the trading platform, and the options, the NFT futures. And I'm sorry, and we have raffles. We have raffles up and running too, on-chain raffles. So now that these locations are starting to roll out, people are going to start being able to use their MVA that they've been stacking up through staking.
So I got a question, because I just pulled up your site myself to look at that. I didn't see that in my research. It looks dope, and I can see where y'all are heading. Like, who's in the team that is developing all of this here? Do y'all have some CTOs and technology people that are keeping up with all of this?
Yeah, one of the team members, his name is Vechain Doom, super talented dev. I mean, we were gonna hire someone to do Ape World because he didn't know how to code in. I'm not the technical person. He didn't know how to code in Python, I think. But he just went ahead and learned it in like 3 weeks and started building it himself.
Wow.
So he's super talented. I think he's an MIT grad. He's also just a community member guy too, and it's great to have him on board. But we also do work with some third-party devs and builders, and we also have a great relationship with World of V, and they've sent us some resources and given us some help. And World of V is a marketplace on Vechain. They're a marketplace launchpad, and we have a partnership with them. Actually, every sale of an MVA NFT, 1.5% of that goes back into our community wallet. So that's been building up nicely. We've been using that for developments and giveaways and those sorts of things. But so yeah, I mean, Vechain, some of the devs we've hired, and then World of V, that kind of is our team that has been building for us.
Yeah, this is cool. We're seeing the projects that are surviving are doing the things that you're doing. The community is fully involved, and then the metaverse vision and dream is slowly happening, and I'm still excited for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the other side of it too. Oh man, can't remember. It was, we bought an NFT Worlds. Back then it was called NFT Worlds. And that, like, literally a month after we bought it, Minecraft was like, yeah, you guys can't do this anymore, and basically shut down NFT Worlds on Minecraft. So
that was where like if you had a Mad V Ape, you actually had a plot in the like metaverse thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we and depending on how many apes you held, you got a bigger plot of land if you held more apes. So luckily, NFT Worlds kind of planned for this, and they had like a $40 million war chest treasury that they put to use like the next day, and they started building their own GameFi platform.
40 million Vechain or $40 million?
No, $40 million. This is an Ethereum project.
Oh, okay, for
NFT
sure.
World is an Ethereum project. At one point, they had over 50,000 daily active users on NFT Worlds. So it's basically a Minecraft plugin. So back then, we saw it as an opportunity to start connecting with some people cross-chain. So we had this cross-chain mentality over a year and a half ago, I guess now. And if you have a world, you get like your own channel in their Discord. So it was great exposure. You could portal between worlds, so you can do, collaboration, scavenger hunts with other projects on other chains. So for us, it was like, yeah, let's break through. Let's meet some new people. Let's give our community a cool place to go, have some fun playing games, earning some money. It was a great idea, but then boom, like it got shut down. Now that didn't stop us. We knew that they were going to build their own GameFi platform. So we went ahead and built out our world. It's called Mad City. There's a shooter game. There are like 10 different kinds of vehicles. And then, like we mentioned before, we gave plots of land to our holders. Now, with those plots of land, they can build something to represent themselves. They can build an art gallery to represent their NFTs. They can build an online retail shop, accepting crypto payments. There's a lot of different, they can build games. They could build a hangout spot for their community and on other projects and stuff. So there's a lot they can do with it. It's just a matter of when is NFT Worlds going to launch their new GameFi platform, and they're close. Last update I saw is they were expecting to have the alpha testing finished by like next month. So it's coming. It's coming.
Oh yeah, a lot. See, that's the thing, is like a lot of stuff is still like this bear market. I keep wondering when it's gonna like fully end and we're gonna get back into that, because I feel like whenever the bull market kicks back in again, like I really do believe it's gonna be like on hyperdrive this time, because you have so many like things that like weren't there before. Like there was a lot of hype and reason to be excited for what could be built, but there wasn't a lot of the tech and a lot of the groundwork laid to actually do a lot of these things. And that's why you had things like Minecraft right at the get-go being like, we're not doing anything with NFTs, like don't even try getting, not doing it. But then you have other companies that are like testing the waters. And I feel like the last 12 months and plus have just been a lot of these big companies really getting their hands testing with each different blockchain, seeing which one works. And I really do believe that once this bull market comes back, you're going to see a lot of this metaverse stuff come back fully in. And I think that's where NFTs, I mean, we saw what Meta did with, the metaverse, what Zuckerberg's done with it in just a little less than a year. Like what it looked like when he first, launched it, or, world, or what, I forget what they actually called it, to his interview with like Lex Friedman. Like it'll be really cool what you can, like, that's more or less the idea I thought of when, the bull market was in last time, was like, you could get these NFTs and you could like actually be there, like put on your like little, whatever it is, your goggles and whatnot, and actually be your NFT in this metaverse spot. And it sounds like that could be something with, the Mad V Apes, that you could actually do, coming up in, maybe hopefully the next year, a little bit over a year, when this bull market does come back.
Yeah, absolutely. And my hot take on it is, I think Minecraft saw how much money NFT Worlds was making, and they're like, no, you guys can't do this. We're not doing this. But they're like, hey, we got to do this. You know what I mean? I think they're working on something.
Oh, they got to have somebody in the
guess,
R&D department who's figuring it out, because there's so much money to be made with building these communities up, like and people having more ownership and being able to create, and because Minecraft's cool and all, but like it's going to have to evolve at some point, because all these AAA game developers, like even though they're hush hush now and not many people are talking about it, like it's just too easy. You look at stuff like, I've always said, the games I would be most excited to play on, on chain, whether it even feels like it on chain, but just NFT wise, is got to be like games like sports games, right? If you're I love playing FIFA, Madden, and all those things, and you're playing like Ultimate Team, where you can collect the cards and that's actually yours. You can trade it on your own, like, and you could actually get value to take that value somewhere else. Like, there's a lot that could be done, with NFTs, gaming, metaverse, all that stuff.
I mean, look at CS:GO. Those skins are selling for in the tens of thousands of dollars, for some of those game skins. It's like people, I think it's the term NFT is just like people relate it to scam still.
Yes.
But see, that will change. Yeah, that will change when the big names enter in, and whether they want to call it NFTs or digital collectibles. I think
they're gonna say digital.
Yeah, something like that is definitely more. They definitely don't need to say phygital. Next gens, I think's ruined that for a lot of the Algorand community. But
they ruined that one.
digital collectibles, I think, is a solid, approach to getting people used to it. And I think it'll probably be a slow rollout for some of these things, but that's what I'm saying. Once that ball starts rolling down the hill, it's going to roll fast, and that's where, I've even looked at, sometimes I'll watch these, Starbucks launching their NFTs this fall or for like their drink. I'm like, should I grab it? Some of these NFTs just in case these end up being like some commemorative type thing that like could
like a Michael
amass
Jordan
value. Yeah,
rookie card.
you really
Mhm.
don't know, but it's like we're
Yeah.
so early to that like side of NFTs really getting escape velocity that like any of these companies launching their first things could be huge.
Yeah, Crypto for Change is a Frappuccino NFT whale, I think.
No, I actually hate Starbucks, but I support local coffee shops. But
Yeah, I'll have all the
nonetheless,
iced coffee for me.
yeah, I don't think, if I got a NFT from, Indian Shores Coffee down the street, I don't think it's going to make me millions like maybe a potential Starbucks one would.
Yeah, I guess so. I want to bring up something that's a little outside the conversation for just Mad V Apes in general, but just kind of talk about NFT volume. I'm going to share something here, and let's see, is it going to pop up on the screen? Boom, here we are. So this is StockTwit's 24-hour NFT volume as of yesterday. They posted this on the 13th, and unfortunately for both Algorand and Vechain, we're pretty low on this list, and I'm very curious because it seems very difficult to grow NFT communities during this bear market. So I want to ask, one, how do we do that? How do we grow the NFT communities more? And then two, to tie it back to the tools that you were talking about, the futures NFTs, the options and things like that, how will that work in a low liquidity environment?
So the first part of your question, how do you grow that, right? Like that's the $1 million question.
It is.
I think similar to Algorand, a lot of VeChain holders just aren't into NFTs yet. Either have some preconceived notion about what they are and think that they're just pictures, right? That's kind of the most common misconception, is that they're just internet pictures, not that they can give you discounts on products and services that you can use in everyday life, not that they can give you access to alpha or access to games or ways to make passive income, not all these other things that we all know, which is why we're all in them. So, and specifically VeChain and Algorand, I think a lot of holders of VeChain and Algorand are holding because of the enterprise adoption that is inevitable. So they're in it because they want to see more companies start using the blockchain, and they just have a long-term belief in that part of it.
Right.
So they're missing out on a lot of the community stuff that's starting to gain some traction and grow. And for me, I firmly believe that it's just a matter of time before people start dipping their toe in, and then it'll be a snowball effect. One person jumps in, grabs an ape, has some fun, wins a giveaway, goes to a UFC event with the community, right? And they're like, "Oh, I gotta tell my group about this. Like, this is really cool. Like this, I didn't know that this was happening." Then they start getting involved. They tell their friends. It just starts snowballing. I think that's inevitable, especially when I think it'll be easier when bull run comes, because more people are talking about crypto, more people are on X, talking about crypto, and I just think it'll be easier in the bull run. Plus, people just are in better mood. They have more, liquidity to play
Last
around
bull
with.
run, my
Yeah.
liquidity, I was willing to buy a whole bunch of stuff. I should
I was
Anything.
so
throw it
done with
anywhere.
it. I was
Yeah, I
so
was
done
like,
with it.
damn.
I know. But I just think that'll come, which is why it's important to build stuff now, so that when people do come, there's actually things you can do. There's actually tangible stuff there that people can take advantage of, so that it is not just internet pictures, right?
Right.
Yeah, I
And
think that was
then,
the biggest, like the biggest thing that led to, you know, especially like Algorand's price and a lot of things price falling so much. One, I think outside of manipulation, because you know, it's funny. I even heard someone talking about, I think it was in Coop Space a couple days ago about how like, you know, we all should have seen it. You know, when Algorand had an 11 billion valuation, you know, there wasn't enough on Algorand to validate that level of, you know, evaluation. But then I think but Sheeb was valued at what and is still valued at what. It's like, you know, to an extent, there's a lot of manipulation out there. But I don't know. It just seems like during this bear market now there is at least some substantial things built and that have been building and are ready that once that bull market comes through we actually could have, you know, people excited but actually be able to back it up with more things than just like, oh, that, you know, we're going to have this in 6 months, we're going to have this in 12 months. Because in the bull market last time Algorand had really like two things outside of like NFT projects. It had like a
Lofty
Dex,
and a
but it
Dex.
had Tiny Man and it had Yieldly at the time, which was like
Mhm.
going to be, you know, the next best thing. And now, you know, it's gone. And most of the things that were there are gone. And I don't know, you know, where Vechain was at that time, but you know, that is, you know, part of the issue is there was so much hype, but nothing really materially there. And now we have a lot of material stuff there. I mean, I think Vechain's connection with UFC, I think that's pretty dope. I'd like to hear more about, you know, what that actually looks like. But, you know, you're seeing a lot of these big companies start to lay the foundation for, like I said, that next bull market.
Yeah, speaking on that, Cigtoshi, can you give us a little like VeChain 101 if you can? As a super person that's really in the Algorand, I know a lot about it, but I don't know how like fast and comparable at block times and the ease of use, wallets and things of that nature.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, VeChain for the longest time had this stigma that it was just a supply chain management blockchain. It's not. It's a layer one. You can build pretty much anything on it. Um, there's a two token system. So VET, VeChain is the native token. VTHO is the gas token. So when you're doing transactions, you're not spending your native token. You're spending VTHO. And just by holding VeChain in your wallet, you automatically generate VTHO. So it makes it really nice because you just hold that and you generate your gas, and then when you do transactions, you spend that gas.
It's
So
similar to Neo. Do you remember Neo, the blockchain
yeah,
of I think 2017? They have so the Neo token, and they also have their own gas token. I think it's just called Gas, and I think it works in a relatively similar manner.
With
yeah,
Theta Fuel
I
too,
remember
I
Neo
think.
blew up.
Right?
What's that?
Theta Fuel is, I think, the same way. Now that I
Oh,
think
is
about
it?
it. Theta, yeah.
Similar. Theta Fuel's more. That was like more like the almost like Twitch streaming platform type thing, where like when you
Mm.
watched creators, or if you were a creator, like you were getting paid in Theta Fuel
Mm,
as you did those actions. But
okay.
similar.
Yeah. And so for businesses that are going to use the blockchain, it actually makes it really nice because they can project out like we're gonna have 100 transactions on chain this month. We need to buy 100,000 VeChain, hold it, and then we'll have enough gas to use all those transactions or to do all those transactions. So
Mhm.
it's a nice way for them to project out their expenses and for using the blockchain. So it's a cool system. We also have um, we have feed delegation, which is just a nice little bonus for us NFT users because our marketplaces basically pay our gas fees. So to the end user, there's no gas fees at all. Um, and this is actually helpful for doing like proof of participation NFTs and airdrops because people can claim an NFT interacting with the blockchain and have absolutely zero crypto in their wallet whatsoever. So
Yeah,
it's a
I think
real
that's
nice
very
tool.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's always been a hiccup for me is getting new people on is they can't do anything until they got the gas fee in there. Always
Yeah,
a
no,
issue.
exactly. So,
Mhm.
we actually did just a sidebar real quick. We did a collaboration with an amateur MMA league here in the Midwest called Elite Amateur Fight League, and I went there. We created proof of participation NFTs for them. They had QR codes on every table for people who were there, can scan the QR code, claim an NFT from that night. And then they were going to collect all the footage from that night and airdrop people more NFTs of like little video clips of their favorite fighter from that night. So just from that, we onboarded, like 150 new wallets, and those, most people had zero crypto in their wallet, had no knowledge of crypto. But, our hope was that they would see this thing, see Vechain, see the wallet, and be like, okay, let me see what this is all about, and go do some more research themselves. So it's a great tool. And speaking of wallets, I know you asked about that before. There's a couple different options, but I think the best option right now is a new mobile and desktop wallet called V World. That's VE World. It is slick. They did a really good job with it. It's brand new, just came out probably a month or so ago, and it's really nice. There's also Sync2, which is a desktop and mobile browser website.
I was about to ask, is that one still functional? Because that's the one I got.
Yeah, no, it is. And you could always import that. If you have the seed phrase, you could always import that same wallet into V World, and everything will just populate there. But yeah, those are kind of the two best options right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because I gotta go check that out. I'm gonna try out that new wallet you're talking about. Have to get
V World.
Yeah, and to
V-World.
answer Michael Jordan, I know we probably going to do a quick ad break here. To Michael Jordan, to answer your question, the Mad V Apes, marketplace I was trying to do, it's worldofv.art, I believe.
That's right.
Worldofv.art. I tried putting it in the chat, but StreamYard is like, it does not like me and does not want me to put anything. I didn't even put the website the first time. I just put, Michael, you can use World of V, and literally StreamYard says, this comment is blocked. So trying to get it out there to the people.
Dang. Yeah, so I think that's a perfect time for us to do a very quick word from our sponsors. So we're going to give a shout out to Exa.market. They're a fantastic NFT platform on Algorand. You can list NFTs, you can buy NFTs, trade NFTs, do all sorts of things on that platform. Check out Exa.market. That's EXA.market to learn more about that. And now we'll be right back. All right, and we are back. That music on that last ad always gets me a little pumped up, but excited to be back. Everybody, check out the video description to learn more about those sponsors. Nice reminder to like and subscribe to the video, and welcome back to the show. So, Cigtoshi, I want to ask, what else, what other cryptos catch your mind? Are you're very much so in the VeChain community, but what else out there are you interested in?
A lot. I think there's so much.
What about your top 5?
All right, so Bitcoin and Ethereum. I got a nice bag of Algorand, and I'm not just saying that.
I would definitely believe that, since you have been doing a cross-chain space with Bama and Gov for over a year. I definitely know you have deep roots with Algorand and VeChain.
Yeah, no, I mean the tech is solid. So, I also, I've been stacking up some Cardano and some Solana, actually. I kind of, for me, I kind of like bet on some of the safer stuff.
Honestly, it
Because
seems like
like,
Solana's going to make that another move again. Like, it just seems like you got
dude, I
Circle
just,
now starting to push every
Yeah.
bit of like, they
yeah,
can towards that. You have a lot of the big names. I feel like that were even pumping Algorand that I've seen are now just like big on Solana. And, even though Algorand might be technically superior in some cases, it's like,
Shit,
hype.
is it
And
Mark
it's, and
Yesco said Solana
Yeah,
too?
and it's not
Raul
gone
Paul.
down. Well, he called them out first. He called them out first saying that, they were not that great. And then someone like from the community kind of came at him and said like, hey, you just haven't, you're not doing the right research. And so then he kind of became a fan. That's where I sent out the tweets like, well, then you should talk to John Woods because Algorand beats Solana day and night. And I don't know if that meeting's happened yet, but, we'll see.
Yeah, it's all about what's being built on it, though, and what's being built and how much liquidity is there. And that's one of the things that I do think Algorand's more technically superior. I think there's a few chains that are more technically superior than Solana, but There's a lot of things to do on Solana, and that does create a demand for the token. So it's one of those things where these ecosystems just got to build themselves up, and then if you build it, they will come, so to speak.
Yeah, I feel like it also. Well, go ahead.
Amount of builders. I mean,
Right.
Solana has a ton of devs, and that's just where money is going to go and where people are going to go. And so it's nice to see Vechain, I think, is on a mission to hire 200 new devs over the next year. So they understand that. I think we've been telling them like, hey, we need more builders here. We need more devs. The more creative people and the more talented people that you have on your chain, the more cool stuff will be built, the more ideas will come to fruition, the more people will come. So that's kind of,
I think the thing Solana still has over a lot of things is not only do they have cheap fees and are fast, even though, obviously there's been the intermittent outage issues and, other things that have plagued them. They have VC money. They know how to market themselves, even if, and their community's fast to, clap back, especially on X. If you try to like push them down, like they're right there. So I definitely do believe Solana is still going to be, a force in the next bull market. I think Absolutely. I don't hold any Solana. I actually only hold one token that I'm bullish on that just is migrating to Solana, and that's Render, which is the GPU rendering thing. I really hope, like, I have no idea if it's actually going to, all that they're trying to do is going to come to fruition, but I'm just hoping the hype of them, maybe since they're already connected with Apple and the guy who is behind the project, Jules Urbach and whatnot, he's close with Anatoly, and he's been to all the like NVIDIA, like the big, all that stuff. So I'm just hoping hype will honestly pump that one when Solana pumps. But one question I do have, more back to Vechain and Algorand real quick. It seems like the Vechain Foundation is very like connected and really close to the community. How's that relationship been? Because I know that has been one of the biggest thorns for Algorand is the fact that even though the tech has been amazing, the foundation to an extent has honestly caused, I would even say, the split, not really split, but the building of Void, which is another, chain that's being built using the Algorand tech, and a lot of people leave Algorand and go, chase other things. So how has that been working with the, Vechain Foundation?
It's been incredible. I think for many, many years, there was this divide and separation between the community and the foundation. And the community started not just like getting loud, like complaining about it, but like actually giving some positive feedback and criticism, constructive criticism and ideas on how to help, build back that bridge between the community and the foundation. And they took it to heart and they put it into action. And over the past 12 months, we've seen a night and day change between the interaction between the foundation and the community. For myself and Mad V Apes in particular, it kind of dates back. We did right after the partnership with the UFC, we started doing some things in the community, UFC pick'ems and Fight Club Friday tournaments and different things like that. Kind of just like having some fun with the partnership and just kind of like leaning into that a little bit. One of our community members was like, "Hey, I know Ken Shamrock in real life. Do you want to set up a meeting with him?" I was like, "You mean Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock?" Yes, like sure. I'm a huge UFC fan, so
Absolutely.
here I am like a week later on a FaceTime call with Ken Shamrock. It was just wild. And so we ended up doing a collaboration with him. He did a Twitter space with us. He did some tweets for us. We gave him a one-on-one. We made him like a custom Ken Shamrock alpha. It's a really cool one. Like,
I think I saw that one. It's
yeah,
pretty dope.
yeah. He's got his belt. He's got the Hall of Fame banner in the background. It's pretty cool. And so the foundation saw that and was like, "Hey, this is really cool what you guys are doing." They reached out to us. They were like, "We want to help you. Like, we want to continue making some noise about this UFC partnership. Like, we want to help you." We had some plans in place to potentially get Mad V Apes on the UFC's website using Vechain's digital asset space on their website for, advertisements and stuff. UFC wouldn't allow it. Okay, so the foundation was like, "Look, we fumbled, we couldn't deliver on this, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you a bunch of UFC Vechain merch to give away to your community. We're gonna give you some ticket packages to do giveaways and have your community come meet the foundation and go to these UFC events." And they were like, "All we ask is you give us some engagement metrics back so that we can see how well this works." So my mind, being in business and understanding like kind of going above and beyond, right? I gave them super descriptive feedback, like reports on reports of Twitter engagement, likes, retweets, VeChain spent, how many transactions spent on some of these contests, like how many people were entering into the giveaways, like a bunch of different reports. And I gave that back to them. And they were like, "Oh, wow, I wasn't expecting this." I was like, "That's how we roll." So they were like, "Okay, well, let's do it again." So you know what I mean? So we kind of went above and beyond for them. They recognized that. They were like, "Okay, this isn't just a, random group of people. This is a legit business that they're running over here." So from there, it was just like they wanted to do it for other projects and not just NFT projects, but other people in the VeChain community, and jump on Twitter spaces with us and host. We do like a monthly Twitter space with the foundation, and just like really show and give support, like not just talk the talk, but like they wanted to walk the walk, and they've been doing it. So I've personally gone to like 6 UFC fights now. I'm going next month to New York to see the John Jones Stipe fight.
Oh, dang, that's gonna be cool.
Oh, that's something amazing.
It's gonna be awesome. So,
Yeah.
and it's for me, it opened up this line of communication with the foundation, because what I recognized after going to a few of these and putting out tweets and threads about how awesome it is that we get to go to these UFC events because of this partnership with the VeChain and UFC. I was like, well, here's the thing. It's great. It's awesome. But if we're just going and talking about it amongst ourselves about how cool this is, how are other people going to know about it? We're still stuck in this echo chamber. So what we need to do is do collaborations with communities outside of VeChain, show them what this is like and the experience and who we are, and meet people from the foundation and try and just grow awareness and get people in. And so they understood that, and we're going to start doing that. So keep an eye out. We're going to start doing some collaborations with, cross-chain communities and bringing them to these events and giving them the opportunity to run giveaways for their community to, win some merch or actually go to the fights.
I think the number one thing that anybody can do right now, if you really want awareness, you got to get Taylor Swift to the event to rep your chain right there. That
That's facts.
100%.
That's
Your
facts.
chain's gonna blow
Really?
up. I don't even know if a chain could handle Taylor Swift NFTs right now. I honestly think that could push Algorand's TPS to the max if she actually drops something.
Algorand would break probably. But Cigtoshi, what you were saying is very important, because when we talk about like Algorand community, that was big things that we were lacking in this community. Because it's kind of like, you know, one of the reasons we started this show, it's like if we got new crypto users coming in, they need people that they feel comfortable with, a community to join and have activities to do. And that is how, you know, this whole space grows on this level. And then of course foundations need to do their job with supply chain and giving out grants. So speaking of that part, have y'all like received any grants, or how is a grant process works with Vechain? Because you mentioned hiring developers. Will they all be on payroll, or is it solo projects?
So for the developer side, those people would be on payroll, I believe. However, you can apply for grants. I think like the big grants are like 30,000. And then they are launching a micro grant program, which is more like $2,000 to $5,000. That's kind of for smaller developments. If you're bringing tools and resources to the ecosystem, they want to help pay for that. They're going to be doing some more stuff I can't actually talk about yet because it hasn't been announced yet. But
you can't leak the alpha.
I can't leak the alpha. Some stuff I can, but not this. But it's just a matter of like applying for it, and the micro grant stuff I think will be a pretty streamlined process to apply for that stuff. Mad V Apes, I think we're gonna apply for a grant, the big grant, once we finish Ape World, because then we can have a clean spreadsheet of the expenses that were had to actually build out the full thing, but also all the tools and resources that Ape World has brought to the Vechain community, safe trading platform and the pawn shop, different things like that. And Vechain, the other thing is like I've done 3 crypto conferences now side by side with the Vechain Foundation. I'm representing Mad V Apes, and the Vechain Foundation is there too, representing, the blockchain, which is amazing. Like, and they've been super supportive of that and help cover some costs with that stuff. I spoke at a Vechain conference it was actually a sustainability conference in Vegas. It was called The Hive. I was actually a speaker talking about community building and project building on Vechain. Then we went to Rare Evo a couple months ago in Denver, and that was actually a Cardano conference.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought that was Charles Hoskins spoke there.
Yep, exactly. But so I introduced Rare Evo to the Vechain Foundation. So Rare Evo actually came to the Hive event. So they did really well there, and they were like, "Hey, Sig, we want to return the favor. We're going to hook Mad V Apes up with a free booth at Rare Evo." So we got a free booth from the Rare Evo team. But then Vechain Foundation was a sponsor of the event. They had a huge booth. So it was really cool to see, some cross-chain interaction between actual foundations. And then the Sonny Liu, the CEO, took $15,000 out of his own pocket and paid for a bunch of NFT projects to go to NFT XLV a couple weeks ago.
Oh wow.
That's awesome.
So really
shout
cool
out to Sonny there.
Really
huge.
cool to see that. So,
it seems like Sonny and the rest of these people at Vechain have a great understanding that they should tap in with the community, because that's what makes this thing work. Kudos to them.
Yeah, I definitely think during the bear market, like I said, that was one of the tough things for Algorand is, especially when at the time, obviously this is maybe looking like 6 months, 8 months back still, but the foundation was making a lot of hires of people outside the community to try to come in and do the job. That I think there were plenty of community people, just like you guys said, you didn't start out, you didn't create Mad V Apes, you were in the community and kind of got hired, brought into it, and then you guys just kind of just started from the ground up and built. And I feel like that there would have been so much more better synergy, from the community to the foundation if, I think they would have done it that way instead of hiring maybe outside and trying to get, maybe these A-list
Well,
talent people
the
to come in
problem-
and try to bring it.
Sorry. The problem I've seen too, sorry, David, is that it was A-list talent that didn't know the space. And
Yeah.
that was always the issue. They had no idea what was going on. They just, worked at some other company and then was told to do this. And that definitely, showed it because there was a big disconnect. And now a lot of those people don't work for the foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but shout out to them. I do think they're coming around a little bit. I think they're in that period of time that you explained a little while ago, Cigtoshi. Those that growing pain moment where it's, there was this disconnect and then a lot of constructive criticism, and then they started to get. I think we're in that path there now too, because they're starting to come around.
Oh, they're doing way better now.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely,
for
but
sure.
Hopefully it continues along that path.
Mhm.
Cigtoshi, we're coming up on the top of the hour here. Is there anything about Mad Apes that you want to talk about that we haven't discussed before, or just anything that you're seeing in the crypto world more broadly that you think is interesting that you want to discuss?
For Mad V Apes in particular, I would say, we kind of covered a lot of the utilities that the project has. We also, two more things I want to touch on. We do have some Web2 business partnerships that we've made. Our goal is we're not going to mint any more projects. I mean, minting now is just, it's tough. And we already have a bunch of awesome art collections that are out there already. So how can we come up with ways to create real revenue for the project and sustain growth and development for the project? So one of those ways is these Web2 partnerships. So we have a couple. We have one that's close to actually launching. I mean, we already have it, but launching, where it's a peanut butter alternative, right? So it's a almond butter, cashew butter, that sort of stuff. But it has a full serving of fruit, full serving of vegetables as well. So it's like super healthy. We have a partnership with them where our holders get a discount. And if we reach above and beyond a certain level of sales, we have a rev share with them that goes to the project. So let's say it's 100 units. For the 101st unit, we get a % of that revenue back to our project.
And is this going to be something that's at like a big distributors like Walmart, the big ones, or is this going to be something more like locally to where the project's at, or is it online?
All right, so they're based in Indiana. I don't know if I can say this.
We're gonna pull that alpha out of you somehow.
That's gonna kill me. They are working with some like MLB teams to have it in their locker rooms because like they tried it, they loved it, they want it in the locker room. So it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a very successful product. I don't think they're in big box stores yet. I think they're doing mostly online retail stuff right now, but getting their name out there.
That's still huge.
It's awesome to see them dabbling in Web3.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
To be that forward thinking about a physical, tangible project that, hey, we need to have a presence in Web3 as well, not just Web2. I mean,
it was like, let me call Cigtoshi.
Yeah, exactly.
It just makes sense too, because like you're right. Like right now, like how else are like if you're an NFT project, I feel like most things are like, all right, if we want to make more money, we got to make another mint, right? And it's just like that's smart for you guys finding those alternatives to like, you know what? Like there's plenty of Web2 businesses that are growing that are not having to, not facing the same troubles we are. Let's partner up with them. Let's find a way to actually generate that revenue outside of honestly diluting current holders of our project.
Yeah, right. And the other one we have is that Elite Amateur Fight League. That's our other Web2 partner. It was cool. We already had an event with them, like I said. We did the proof of participation NFTs for them.
What's the name of that one? Sorry to interrupt there.
Elite Amateur Fight League.
Okay.
Yeah, EAFL. And we had they put an MVA banner on one of the corner pads of their octagons. So we had our branding right there. We had our MVA on the mobile app that they have, because they have live betting and you can earn points. They have a really extensive app, and Mad V Apes was right there on the app. So it was really cool to see that. But they are going to create some merch for us, some Mad V Apes merch, and sell it at their events, and we get a portion of that sales. So another revenue stream for the project as well, which we don't have to do much work at. We just give them the design, they create the tees, and they sell them. So pretty cool. Another revenue source, and we're going to continue. We have a few more Web2 businesses that we are talking to. It's just a matter of like figuring out a structure that makes sense for both sides. So we're kind of ironing out some details before we sign on the dotted line with some of these other Web2 companies. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, whoever's listening right now, tap in what Cigtoshi is saying. Like, I really like what you're saying. It makes a lot of sense because that is the reason why a lot of projects have crashed. They kept selling to their communities, and then the communities, bought everything, and then they didn't, do more after that. Then we call it a rug pull because they disappear. But what I really see is a lot of people just don't have a business model outside of selling NFTs. So that's why I'm giving you a shout out. I like what you're saying.
No, I appreciate it. I mean, and it makes sense because, like, the other side of it for the holder benefit, for the Elite Amateur Fight League is if you are in the Midwest during the time of the fight, you get free entry into the fights, right?
That's dope.
If you want to go check out some cool fights, like have a good time, drink a couple beers, you get free entry.
I mean, I'll be completely honest. Like when Algorand inked the partnership with FIFA, I was like, oh shoot, like Algorand Foundation's probably going to, find a way to link us up with some, especially we were in Dubai. Like they had the event there in Dubai when the World Cup was going on. And to my knowledge, at least, nobody was flown out or got to go to any of those games and watch some World Cup games. So it
was right there in Qatar, right down the street.
Yeah. It is interesting.
Partnership's not over yet, though, is it? It goes to
it's not over
the next one. So there's still time.
Yeah,
it's not, but we also were partnered with the Women's World Cup, and there was still that was radio silent. So I'm expecting that, and to the foundation's defense, that was an Inc. partnership, not a foundation partnership. So maybe that's where some of that kind of has to go through the the powers that be, I guess. But it is cool nonetheless. Like that's the NFTs. Like that was the whole idea outside of just like tokenizing maybe reward points for big businesses and stuff. Like that's the whole point of like having these NFTs is like, if you like a company, if you like a brand, whatever that brand is, whatever that company is, you buy this NFT and it gives you benefits for
membership.
Real life events. I mean, that's the whole idea. And I feel like more of those projects like those are going to be the things that reach, I think, mass adoption and scale in the next bull run. You're going to have to come through on like actually you like real world utility. I think that's going to be a big talking point for the next bull run. Instead of all this just like hype roadmap metaverse like stuff, like people like they want to see like how is this NFT when I buy it going to actually affect my day-to-day life. And I think like that's pretty awesome that like even on a small scale.
That's our goal. We eventually want to have a list in the Discord of, partner companies where you need toothpaste. You scroll down that list, you get your discount code, you go order toothpaste on our partner website. You know what I mean? Like that's our goal. There's actually a pretty relatively like priced project on Ethereum that does it pretty well called, man, I'm going to botch the name, but it's like Friday Beers or something like that. I'm sure you can find it just by those two words. It's not called that, but it's close to that. But they have like a list of different companies and local bars and things like that where you get discounts or free stuff. And that's kind of our goal. Like, as you can tell, Mad V Apes has a lot of different arms, a lot of different things that we're doing. But that's something that we are focusing on as well to build out the longevity of the project, is give our holders tangible value through these partnerships, through these discounts, through the free stuff that they get, but also create additional revenue streams for the project to continue development.
I was just going to say, so big question then, when is Mad V Apes crossing over and joining Algorand too? I want to hold a Mad V Ape in my algo wallet.
I know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I've got one final question, I
Yeah.
suppose. We've talked about it a few times. How do we win those UFC tickets? Because I'm very curious. That one in New York sounds really interesting. How do are there still tickets being raffled away in the future? How does that work?
Absolutely. So New York is booked. All the tickets are allocated. They've been better at like doing it earlier on so that people can plan their travel and accommodations and
Of
stuff.
course.
But I can't make any promises, but I think Matt V8s will have some tickets to give away for the December fight in Vegas. And then we'll have some more events in 2024 as well.
And how do people
So
stay aware of that? Is it on the Twitter? Is there a Discord? How do people stay in touch?
Twitter and Discord, whenever we have tickets that we're going to give away, there will typically be some sort of contest or Twitter contest giveaway type deal. So Twitter or Discord will have the details when we do have tickets and are running some sort of contest or giveaway.
Fantastic. So everyone, if you're interested, keep an eye on those social media accounts. I know I'm interested. I might try to see what I could win in the future. Definitely, could be fun. But this has been a great discussion. I had a lot of fun learning about VeChain, learning about Mad V Apes. It seems like there's more we could learn because there's a lot of different arms. It seems like a octopus project, so to speak. But this has been a great time. I appreciate your time on the show, Cigtoshi.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you giving me the time and it was fun talking to you guys. And I'm sure we'll talk more and be in touch and keep
Yeah,
an
we
eye
got to
out.
get. Yeah, we'll have to get you back on during the bull market when when Algorand and VeChain aren't at the bottom of that NFT volume and we're moved over to that left column
That's
again.
right. That's
We
right.
were
It's coming, man. It's coming. And like I mentioned before, with the UFC tickets and the foundation kind of wanting to get out of our our little eco chamber, we'll be looking to collab with some cross-chain projects and communities too. So keep an eye out for that. Maybe we can work something out.
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely.
Absolutely. Everybody, go check out Cigtoshi Nakamoto on Twitter. Check out the Mad V Apes project, and check out the video description down below to support our great sponsors. Special shout out to Non-Fungible Domains, Exim Market, Algo Foundry, and Gora. Appreciate your support. Like and subscribe, and definitely hit that notification bell. Next week on Thursday at our normal time, we have Anthony Scaramucci coming on the show. It's going to be a big show, a lot to discuss. So ping that notification bell, subscribe so you don't miss it, and everybody, appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.